You're here with us and that you found us. You found your tribe, by the way.
Yeah.
It is kind of a cult. So what finally did change was in the 18th, what capitalism has done for humanity. So if you look at the economic history of the planet for the last 2,000 years, there's some reasonable ways to estimate per capita income. And you can see, adjusted for inflation for the year 2000, it was less than $500 for most of that time. So $477 per person per year in the year zero. Fast forward 1,000 years, we actually went backwards. What does that mean? In practical terms, that 95% of people actually lived on less than $1 a day. Again, adjusted for inflation. So the default condition of humanity was that extreme abject poverty, life expectancy 28 to 30 years, human population just a few hundred million people. It would fluctuate dramatically with plagues and wars and famines and all kinds of terrible things. Fast forward another 500 years, you can see, slight progress, like 20% in 500 years. Okay, China does that in 2 years now. But, tiny progress, but you did start to see humanity awaken, right? So Renaissance, coming out of the Dark Ages, as we had the flourishing of art and literature and so forth, and of course then the invention of printing, the Gutenberg in Germany. Significant steps forward. Books were a little more affordable now, but most people were illiterate. 90% of people were illiterate. And even if they could afford books, if they could read, most of them couldn't afford those books. Newton, Galileo, understanding the laws of nature, our place in the universe, tremendous breakthroughs, again, for humanity to be able to accomplish at that time. But of course, the ordinary person struggling to survive out there, there's no impact on their lives again whatsoever. So what finally did change was in the 18th century. A few things came together in rapid succession, starting with the biggest technological leap forward humanity has ever made, which was the Industrial Revolution. Roughly 1750 in Scotland. Right? So now for the first time we had machines that could produce products rather than everything being made individually, so much more consistent quality, lower cost, right? And productive output went up dramatically in countries which had this. Right? And with that came a slight rise in prosperity. So again, we had a dramatic technological breakthrough then, but that wasn't enough to really transform society because technologies can be used in different ways. The next breakthrough was an intellectual breakthrough, and also in Scotland. But they also gave us the Scottish Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution, and they also gave us Adam Smith, a moral philosopher at the University of Glasgow who wrote the foundational text for understanding markets, An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations was the long title, asking a simple question: why do some societies flourish and prosper and others do not? What holds them back? What allows them to move forward? Most people would have said natural resources, and he found that wasn't true, no correlation there. Others would have talked about the work ethic. Again, he didn't find that to be the case as well. What he found actually explains prosperity is freedom. Societies that are rooted in individual freedom, where people actually have the freedom to direct their own lives and focus on what they enjoy and do well.